Five Nights at Freddy's is not scary. At least not anymore. These new games by Steel Wool, Security Breach, Ruin DLC, Help Wanted 2 are not scary to me, and apparently a lot of people. I am aware fear can be subjective, but I believe the concept of fear has some common denominators that applies to everyone, or at least the vast majority of people. Five Nights at Freddy's is one of the few games I grew up on. I remember seeing the first game come out, playing it, watching my favorite YouTubers play it. It was genuinely terrifying to me. And even elementary school me found it weird how quickly the sequels came out. I mean, 4 games came out within the span of a year, Jesus. And in my opinion, they still hold up pretty well, with Sister Location coming out a year after being my favorite. The series went on strong with Pizza Simulator, Ultimate Custom Night, I still play this game, not FNAF World, and Help Wanted 1 being very solid and enjoyable installments until, Security Breach, the second game created by Steel Wool Studios, and a pretty god-awful one at that. My god, is it bad. These designs and this game are not scary. Not even mentioning the buggy mess it was. The animatronics aren't scary at all, other than the fact that hundreds of pounds of metal is hurling at you, but you can get that same level of fear from a semi-truck driving at you at full speed, you know what I mean? I knew I was gonna hate it when I saw the trailer years ago. My expectations dropped so quick seeing how vibrant and animated, how cartoonish it was. Though I did hold hope that they had some sort of secondary, more scary one similar to FNAF 2, the toy and with their animatronics, or Pizza Simulator with the Rockstar versus Scrapped animatronics. But man, was I right to hold no high hopes. I know I said it already, but this game is buns. I don't believe anyone who grew up with the franchise thinks Security Breach is past a 5 out of 10. I already knew off rip I wasn't gonna play this crap. Okay, let's hold here for a moment and rewind back to 2014 when FNAF 1 came out. Very simple, watch the cam, shut the doors, keep power 6 AM. So simple, yet so effective. This simple gameplay loop gave more focus to the atmosphere, the threats, the designs, and the audio. It's really quiet. The mascot's huge humanoid animals that just look so off. How they stare directly at you in the cameras. Except Chica, I don't find her scary. Freddy's laugh slow and unnerving, and his only presence on the camera were his 2 white pupils. Bonnie, considered the scariest by, like, everybody. His horrifying screams still make me jump to this day. Foxy's slow movement until just being gone into a full, loud sprint to your door, which is a stark contrast to the dead quietness and the sort of teleporting type movement they do. Now, why'd I just give you probably the 20th description of FNAF 1 you've ever heard? Because it all goes down to the fear of the unknown. The darkness they lurk in gives you the feeling that no obscured area is safe or vacant, which only leaves questions like, why are they after me? How do they know I'm watching them? What are these things? Why are they staring at me? You don't know, and the uncanniness they have gives no clear emotion, leaving even more questions. They just stare. And it's really telling, for me at least, that even though I've already seen and played the game over and over, I know how they move, every screen, every sound, the code, movement opportunities. And yet I come back and it still fills me with dread, because no matter what, the atmosphere is perfect. I always forget this game is from 2014, and this goes for all the games 1 through 4. And now, when you go back to Security Breach, I mean, yeah, they have cool designs, but are they creepy or scary? Does looking at them make you uncomfortable? Not to me. And it especially doesn't help when they're almost always illuminated by the light of the Pizzaplex. When I see the animatronics at any point, I don't see them as monsters to avoid from my life, but as obstacles to avoid not to lose the game. Look how they creep on Gregory, arms out like, ooh, I'ma getcha. The only real unnerving parts of Security Breach are the little music men, spider things, and the endoskeleton weeping angels. They're pretty terrifying. But that's really about it. Not to mention the atmosphere in this game fluctuates so wildly. One point you're in a dark vent or a room with nothing but the echoes of your footsteps. And on the other hand, you have this dumbass fanfare, Gregory's annoying ass voice, or these terrible animatronic lines.
I bet you don't even have friends.
Are you really telling me I'm supposed to be scared of this? Well, I'm not. What I feel the biggest mistake this game made was giving the animatronics personalities. Now hang on, let me elaborate, right? One of the main things that made FNAF scary was the fact that the robots were mostly emotionless. And like I said, you can never really tell what they're thinking or if they even can think in the first place. They quite literally just stare until they reach your office and kill you. Now, does giving a horror antagonist a voice make them less scary? No. Does giving a horror antagonist a personality make them less scary? Also no. And I don't even need to reach out to other games to prove it. Think Springtrap, he has a voice.
I always come back.
Mode is a personality, story, and one of the best horror game villains of all time, up until Help Wanted. Or you can look at Baby from Sister Location. She talks our ear off.
I don't recognize you. You are new.
But her voice is so eerie and smooth. It makes it feel that even though she's supposedly on your side, it doesn't feel right, if that makes sense. Her voice feels detached from the baby animatronic itself, as if it's only a vessel. Especially this part.
Can you hear me? I'm pretending. Remember how I said I could pretend? The cameras are watching. I must be careful not to move. Something bad happened yesterday. Something bad always happens. I don't want it to happen again. There is something bad inside of me. I'm broken. I can't be fixed.
Just, ugh. Security breach sounds like animals are just talking to me like a person. We have this cool looking alligator with a smashing attitude.
Rock and roll!
A self-absorbed wolf.
Your hair is beautiful. Your tail is beautiful. Everyone was watching you.
A father figure bear.
Way to go, superstar! I knew you could do it.
And a chicken with an eating disorder. What a lineup.
She is such a bad...
Security breach is a joke and hardly takes itself serious. We have an instant slow motion replay of a go-kart smashing Roxy's face in multiple times.
Yes, I can definitely smell shite.
Unrelated, but also kind of related. This isn't the only offender, but I'm getting tired of seeing these animatronics move smoothly like humans. It just feels wrong. I much prefer when they move more machine-like, heavy and stiff.
Guys. Do not move a muscle. Oh crap. Okay, don't move.
Also, I know this type of thing just goes with having free roam or 3D spaces in your games, but the quick turnarounds and the no clipping really takes me out of it, as if it was possible to take me out anymore. I've seen this happen across a lot of free roam games, but this just feels excessive, at least to me. And it's really unfortunate because free roam FNAF games can be done well. Look at the joy of creation. That FNAF fan game is timeless. So, it's not impossible, and I don't want to call the devs at Steelwool lazy, but, like... Anyway, so horrible gameplay, graphics, an annoying protagonist, heart rate reducing horror, more bugs in Bonnie Blue's crotch, and a corny fan base. We got security breach. You know, I wasn't originally gonna go over the Ruin DLC, since Security Breach itself was such a monumental FU to me personally, because FNAF was so consistently good up until this point. It was a perfect introduction to horror games to me and was an easy series to revisit or consume the new installments since they came out so quick. And this turned into a bastardization of itself. This DLC was actually pretty goddamn terrible. Okay, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. Positives. The mask mechanics were cool. Helpy's line here gave me a chuckle.
That rabbit thing's back again. You said it was safe here.
This giant endo was pretty cool. Oh, the atmosphere is mostly consistent. Yeah, I'm done. I don't have anything more. The graphics are still pretty bad. The voice acting is worse.
I'm stuck! Help!
And of course, it's not scary. Getting through this gameplay, because God knows I'm not playing this game, was an absolute slog. To the point where I was thinking of scrapping this video as a whole. That's a little bit of an exaggeration, but I'm serious. I had to fight the urge to remove this part out entirely, so I didn't have to watch the gameplay. Yes, watch, because like I said, I'd rather eat Satan's asshole than pay money for this. Only to find out there's multiple endings? Am I gonna check them out? No. I think one of the problems is, when you get an influx of children on your franchise, toning down the horror in your games seems almost like a no-brainer until you realize children look up and see things that would make a senior explode before they reach middle school, thanks to the internet and phones. So generally, it doesn't really make sense to me. This whole censorship and babyfying everything has to be done for another reason. What is the other reason? I'm serious, what is the other reason? Tell me! Look at these two images of Bonnie, and tell me which one you think, if you saw it in your hallway, would scare you more. The one with jaundice and a slight attitude, or the actual scary one? Don't even answer that, because it's this one. It's really interesting, and I say interesting even though I mean f***ing stupid, that just about everything wrong with Security Breach, and by extension Ruin, is why the FNAF movie is bad. FNAF 1 was a beautiful, and I don't think it's a crazy take to say that it's one of the best horror games ever created. The animatronics are creepy. They say nothing. They move how a possessed robot should. Even though they possess the ability to talk, they don't. The most we get are the labored moans, what sounds like demonic mumbling. I'm so curious for an answer here. Why are the animatronics in this movie show so much emotion? Aside from them being possessed by children, but like, the original game never did any of this. The angry squint doesn't look intimidating. There's a reason why they didn't squint their eyes angry at you in the cameras, because they didn't need to. What changed? Scott clearly knows the idea of less is more, so when you consider everything about FNAF 1, and have such perfect monsters attacking you in such a vulnerable stationary state, and again, you know almost nothing about anything, and then you make a movie about those same demons building a pillow fort, you cannot be upset that you lose your legacy fans like myself. Like, what is this? Why is this a thing? The eyes. Oh my god, the eyes. How have we fallen from grace? Colored eyes were pretty much never a thing, so why are they a thing now? Throughout the series, the eyes took two forms, either the normal animatronic eyes or the endodots. They work so incredibly well because it gives them a ghostly aura to the otherwise very large, very real robot exterior. Again, if you saw this in your room at night, guaranteed your sheets would be ruined. Less is more. There's a reason we didn't need evil red white eyes to basically tell us, hey, you're supposed to be afraid right now. They're in evil mode. The last thing I'll say about this absolute fecal pile this film is the ending. Afton's death. This is a reference to a minigame in FNAF 2 when Afton is spring locked and dies. Looks pretty painful, right? For context, he used his very suit to commit crimes he's done for years and got away with. So not only is it brutal, it's also ironic. Look how he's shaking, and how he falls to his knees, clearly in agony. Now look at this scene from a movie with an infinitely higher budget, time, and resources.
I always come back.
Way less brutal. Why is he smiling? He's getting pierced in every part of his body. How is an 8-bit minigame showing a more violent death than a movie over 10 years later? But I guess it's okay because he said the line.
I always come back.
My god, is the movie terrible. Never in my entire life on this earth have I ever mentally checked out so hard, so quick from a movie. It truly baffles me that anyone thinks this movie's good or even decent. It's not scary, it's cringe, and it makes me angry. FNAF isn't what it used to be. We now have remnant time-traveling ball pits, and a villain who overstayed its welcome since the 6th, and I guess the 7th game as well. When Help Wanted 2 released, I was hyped for about 3 minutes until I realized the security breach animatronics were gonna be in it. That's gotta say something, right? It's come to the point where I don't even want to bother watching, let alone play The Secret of the Mimic. Steel Woolish has been releasing dud after dud, and I know for a fact when the FNAF 2 movie releases, it's gonna be as, if not worse than the first. If you watched all the way through, oh my god, I love you. This video took a long time to make, and if there's any gaps in my knowledge, feel free to call me out on it in the comments. Or not. Am I your dad? You know, since you're here, I have a gaming channel, so just go take a look. And if you do, part 2 is coming up, I promise.
Oh my god!